Hey guys, RC here. So wanted to thank you guys for checking out my little intro. Take a look at video for game Dev Tycoon. 10. I have as of today, I have 10 views basically in one day, which for me that's a good video. So still a small channel. I'm not looking. Do I eventually want to have 10,000 subscribers and several thousand views? That would be great. But you know what? Is it something I'm shooting for? Not really. I don't lose sleep over that, and I'm not fixated on that. So, that way when if I gain one viewer, one subscriber, I'm actually pretty happy with that. But anyway, 10 people watched it, which is a good video for me. I did have a comment that they would like to see more of the game from somebody. So Tyler Simmons is the one that commented that. So thank you very much. I'm having a good time playing it solo. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and play it and record a little bit and just see how it goes. We'll mix this in. It won't be a high presence video. It'll just be an offshoot. So if you're here for my FM games, don't worry about it. And if you're liking Planet Side and RimWorld, those aren't going anywhere either. And it may delay Dwarf Fortress a little bit, but Dwarf Fortress is one of those games I go through phases where I play it a lot and then I don't play it for a while. So, actually, I wasn't going to probably do a save on that for a little while anyway. But let's get into Game Dev Tycoon. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time reading the pop-up screens. I've seen just about all of them. I will leave them up momentarily if you want to look at it, or you can pause the game and read it. But we're going to go ahead and kind of blow through here. So, all right. Also, if you left click, you can see it speeds up the typing out, and I've got the sound effects turned off. There is no difficulty level, so to speak, but I am going to name us Tabasco Gaming because I am Raging Cajun, and Tabasco and Cajun kind of go together, and we're going to get into the game. I am going to turn off the hints. So we're kind of learning on the go, but I do have quite a few notes written down, and you can see I do have a save where I'm almost at $100 million, so I'm doing okay. Much better than going bankrupt, at $70,000. So we're going to save that here. We're going to overwrite the game. And the first thing, all we can do is develop a game. So we're going to pick a topic. These are always randomized. And, you can be a broad spectrum where you do just about any type of genre. There are 6 genres in the game. They're action, adventure, role-playing, simulation, strategy, and casual. Each type of topic has strengths and weaknesses with the genre it ties in. So you have to kind of think about it in your head and think about, okay, movies, what does that go with? Well, I am going to do a simulation. So we're going to, and so you can say I only want to do certain, 2 or 3 genres. So like action, simulation, and strategy go really well together. I don't want to limit myself, although it does make it a little easier. So why don't we do that? Why don't we limit ourselves? So let's see. Movies, let me take a look. Let me think about what movies. So we can do simulation and casual. What was the other one? Music. We can do simulation and casual. Dance, simulation and casual. And UFOs, strategy and action. All right. And the reason that action, simulation, and strategy go so well together is because the sliders that we use are all the same. So, simulation, so we'll do movies. And I did say that would work good as a simulation. And yeah, we're going to go with the PC. And it's movies. Hollywood Hills, that's what we'll call it. We'll just make stuff up at random. All right, we're going to use I'm going to use plain text base on this. You don't have to use the best one, although it will help you put out a better game. Well, all right, we'll do that. Yeah, that's fine. All right, start simulation. Basically, and again, I don't know the nuts and bolts of this game, but there are two things, and you can see there is no pause button, but when you have a window open, the game does pause. So that's what I'll do a lot of the talking and walking you through stuff. So in your development, you have these 3 phases. So in phase 1, it's engine, gameplay, and stories. Stage 2, it's dialogues, level designs, and AI. And in level 3, it's world design, graphics, and sound. And you have to move these sliders to what makes the most sense. And each type has a number 1 primary, a number 2 secondary, and a number 3 not important. Now, this right here, this time allocation is a mod. It lets me see the percentage. And the percentage is important. We'll talk about it in a minute. So I know in simulation that in this, gameplay is the most important, engine is the second most important, and story quest is not as important. Not that it's unimportant, but I'm going to drop that down right there. Now, anything that has what we'll find as we learn, I mean, I've already learned a lot of this, but as you learn in the game, you'll have little plus and minus signs that'll show up under each one of these. So in this case, gameplay is going to eventually have 3 pluses. Engine will have 2 pluses. And this will have kind of like a little squiggly line. It's the tilde key, which is the one just to the left of the number 1 on your keyboard. Means about, or, you know. So anything that has 2 or 3 pluses, you want at least 40% allocation. And then whatever's unimportant can get anywhere from 0 to whatever it takes. So I want at least 40%, and then I want to prioritize 1 and 2. So we're going to hit OK. And then what's going to happen is I will be, your character will be thinking and doing work. Well, we can get bugs. We can have design points, technology points, and research points. All right. So we'll look at how those develop as we move forward. But the best results I have gotten is having design and technology be pretty even. Okay. So, at the end of this, the goal is to have, say, 10 design and 10 technology, or 10 and 9, 9 and 10. What you don't want is to have, 20 in design and only 2 in technology. And later you can actually do that. And there may be some places that's beneficial. Okay. But right now, to be successful, that's kind of the goal. And then research points is like how you level up and you can earn the ability to unlock new things. Okay. So we'll get into that as well. All right. So stage 2, we're doing a movie simulation. Now these sliders in these development stages are all based on the genre. So simulation. So in this one, it's going to be AI, then level design. And then I'm going to drop that down to where I get just at 40% and then whatever's higher. All right. Now the design and the technology is based on the stage of development and your personal skills. Okay. And after this, we'll look at our character and show you what we're talking about. All right. So you can see we're now even. And we've earned 10 research points. Now, we've got bugs, so we'll have to squash those. All right. And level 3, it's going to be graphics, sound, and then world design. So we're going to go down again. I want at least 40%, whatever max is, and then we can dial that off. You'll get this little side window, and this is where you can turn on or off. All right, I can turn sound off and it'll be a soundless game. Basic sounds cost $5,000. Now, Again, you'll pause when these are up, but when these are down, when these are closed, your game does not stop. It's constantly moving. And each month has a certain charge. And when you have employees, you're paying them whether they're working or not. So it does become a very fast-paced game to click basically as fast as you can. Luckily, you do get some downtime to think about things here. All right, so we're going to click OK. And you can see your progress. And so you have your first, second, and third sections. Now, you can finish now, but I'm going to let it continue while I'm squashing the bugs. And then when you get to 0, you may gain some more design or technology. If you're lucky, you might gain some more research, but because you're still learning and inputting stuff into the game while you're squashing the bugs. Now, again, if I left click on here, once this starts, it does speed it up. And I've gained experience points, basically, in each one of these levels. Okay? Now, you can choose to either trash the game or release the game. I have yet to trash the game. I'm not sure why that would ever be smart, because you've spent money. So we need to recoup that. Even if it's a bad game, we should hopefully recoup our money, and it will generate revenue while we're working on our next game. So we're going to release the game. I am going to click on me, and we're going to, I can't train yet. But okay, so here's our reviews. And again, if you left click, once the numbers start, it does speed it up a little bit. Not instantaneous, and these are just random based on, well, we'll talk about that in a second. So we got an 8, 8, 7, 7. These ratings, you might the initial thought and what makes sense is, well, if I put the sliders in the right spot and I generate the right design and technology, then I'm going to have a good game. That would be easy. And then the game probably wouldn't be any fun. So what you have to do is, right now, this game is now my high score for a game. Now this is kind of what is expected. And so basically that 10 and 9 or whatever we had up here, that's kind of our target number. We need to do better than that in order to get 7s and 8s. If we don't do that well, we'll get 4s and 5s, and the game will be a dud. All right, so we're going to close it. All right, a little news release. Again, you can left click and it'll speed it up. So we got favorable reviews. All right, I'm going to generate a game report. You select the game. If you've missed a game, you'll have a list here of all your game titles. So we'll select Hollywood Hills and select. So I'm working on that, and we'll actually generate some research points doing this. All right, Hollywood Hills sold 3,100 units, and we charted at number 34 in the game category. So we're the number 34 popular game in the world, or the country, or whatever. All right, we have 23 fans. So your fans is kind of an indicator of how successful you are. You'll always sell more than you have fans, but these are like your loyal, diehard fans, and you can see the time is progressing. All right, so we finish our game report. We gain some research points, and it gives you some feedback. Now, this is where I've made my notes. So movies and simulation is a great combination. So I want to do, anytime I do movies, simulation is one of the options that I would want to consider. Now, I told you earlier, movies goes great with simulation and casual. It does not go good with strategy or RPG, and it's okay with action and adventure. So you want to make the best game you can. So it will limit the genres that you can use for each thing. You also do not want to put out a game in the same category too soon within a year. So I want to wait at least a year before I do another movie simulation combo. And you don't want to release a sequel until you actually have unlocked the ability for sequels in the game. All right, so we're going to click OK. Now, I'm going to research. One, because it'll pause the game for a minute. Now, when you earn research points, this is where you come. You click on your monitor right here, and we click on research. And whatever you can do, eventually there will be more things to do, but right now we can either create a custom game engine, which costs 50, so I don't have enough for that, or we can unlock a new topic. Now, these are all the topics in the game, so there's a long list, and you start off with 4 at random and then 4 new ones at random, and as you unlock, new ones will come up for you to choose from until you've unlocked the entire list. Now, I still have 3 topics that I can do, so I'm not going to waste my points here. The game engine is very important, but you unlock that, you get, this would be our first custom game engine. It would be very basic. And then once you have that, then you'll be able to unlock like new sound, new video technology. And then when you create a new game engine, after you've unlocked those, you can add those into your engine. Still cost 50 points, but the dollar cost will go up. And it will eventually cost $500,000, $1 million to create a custom game engine plus the 50 points. It is very expensive, because you're also using these research points to open new topics, to train yourself in new skills, to train all of your employees that you'll have, and eventually you'll have between 4 and 6 employees. So you don't want to create a custom game engine just because you have the points. You want to make sure you've unlocked enough technology to make it worth your while. Now, we talked about sequels. You never want to release a sequel on the same game engine. So if you think about a game like, let's say, Elder Scrolls, Skyrim is much more technologically advanced than Oblivion was. Oblivion was much more advanced than Daggerfall was. So if Oblivion and Skyrim had both come out on the Daggerfall engine, they probably would not have been as successful as they were. Fallout 4, if it would still be on the Fallout 1 engine, probably would not have been as successful as it was. So my recommendation is we save up our research points to create the game engine first. And again, we don't need a new topic, so we're going to jump right back in and develop a new game. Now, I did movies, and I tend to do these in order so I don't lose track. But we're going to do music. Music works very well with simulation and action and casual. Now, casual's not in here, so you actually have to unlock that. So I am going to do a music simulation. Yeah, and we're going to do, again, on a PC. Now, when you click here, eventually you will get some notes in here how good certain genres work with a certain platform. But I'm going to go PC, and we're going to call this Guitar Stars. I don't know what that's a takeoff from, right? But, oh, genre, simulation. There we go. And we're going to put in our best 2D graphics. And we're going to start working on that. So we're working away while Hollywood Hills is still selling. So hopefully we generate a positive cash flow. Now, here's why you might want to keep to the limit to certain genres, because we're doing simulation again, but strategy is the same as simulation, almost the same. Basically, I might have to switch these two, but this is always going to be 1 and 2, one of these, and 3 down here. So because we're simulation, everything's the same. And this defaults to the last thing that you did. So I don't have to change anything. So it's easier and it saves me time. All right, we've hit 10,000 units for Hollywood Hills. That's excellent. And it's still selling. And we're gaining fans here. All right, and again, that's 3, 2, 1, so nothing's changed there. Just double check that, I haven't noticed that it's ever changed anything, but Oh, we had a little uptick in sales that week. All right, and that's the same. Everything else is the same, so we're good to go. All right, so we hopefully will get a few points here in design while we squash bugs. All right, we're going to finish. Left click. So we set a new record in technology. So we're going to release that game. We got bonus points for a new topic, music, a new combo, music simulation. So music works well with, what did I say? Simulation, casual, and action. So I could come back and do a music action. Might not want to do it in my next release, but maybe in 2 releases, and then I could get that bonus again for combo. So we're going to release this game. Hollywood Hills goes off the market. We sold $13,395 and made just under $94,000 in profit. All right, here comes our reviews for Guitar Stars. All right, a 7, so that's good. A 6, not quite as good. So this should be another decent seller. I mean, it's 6s and 7s instead of 7s and 8s, which is okay. We're going to generate our game report. You should do that after every release because you'll gain some free research points, but it also is how you learn and get the information on what works and what doesn't. All right, so again, right here, gameplay is very important. Sound is very important. And PC simulation works great. So simulation games on a PC. So that would be where you'd want to go. All right, now the G64 is outselling PCs. And if we look at that next time we go, you know, you have to take that news information. So not quite enough for our new engine yet. So let's go ahead and develop a new game. And I'll show you what I was talking about here in a second. So dance. And what goes good with dance? Dance is another good simulation. All right, so right here you can see market share. Now, this game actually mirrors or mimics the actual development curve of the computer gaming industry. So you'll see the Nintendo come into being, the Sega Genesis, the PlayStation, the Xbox. Now they call them something else, but it's obvious what they are, right? So like I had a Commodore 64, loved it, the 5-inch floppy disk. But, you know, it went the way of the dinosaur. So even though, you know, you have to kind of gauge what you're seeing and hearing from the news industry. Oh, the G64 is outselling and maybe the PC goes extinct. Well, we know that doesn't happen, right? Because you probably have a PC on your desk right now and they haven't made the Commodore 64 in a long time. So we know that goes the way of the dinosaur at some point. Doesn't mean you can't release a game for it, but you have to do it before it gets turned off and isn't available anymore. When game systems like the Nintendo and the Xbox come out, you have to actually buy a license from Nintendo or Sony or whoever to make a game for their platform. It's a one-time fee. It lasts as long as that console is in effect. It does not change consoles. So if you buy one for the Nintendo NES, when the Super Nintendo comes out, it does not cross over. All right. And one of the things that we learned a minute ago, so now we can see PCs simulations are 3+. And that's the most. That's the highest rating. So you have 1, 2, or 3 on the pluses, 1, 2, or 3 on the minuses. And then you have that little tilde sign, which means unknown. All right. So we're going to put this on the PC. And what do we want to call this? Get your groove on. Yeah, that sounds good. All right. So it's a simulation game. We'll put graphics in it. If it's blue, it's already there. But we're researching away, and we're into week 4. Guitar Stars is ranked number 37, so it looks like we'll have another pretty good hit. All right. Now, we learned gameplay was important, so here you see the 3 pluses. Now, we're not 100% positive on that, but that's a good guess, and we've already done simulation, so all these are in the same place, so we're going to go with it. All right, we should have enough for our custom game engine after this, but we got to finish developing the game first, which is fine. And I'd like to get some extra points to be able to maybe research something else. All right, here in development 3, graphics are 3 stars, sound is 2 stars, world design we don't know. And here's a good tip for you, you will never have 3 items in one stage that are all pluses. Never. Okay, so don't forget to, as you upgrade your abilities and your research, to upgrade your games when you get those little side pop-up mirrors, and I'll point that out when I can do it. All right, Guitar Stars sold just over 13,000 units, made 91,000 in sales, so we're maintaining a positive cash flow. All right, here we go. Nintendo is releasing its own gaming console. They're known for the wildly successful arcade game Dinky King. Of course, that's Donkey Kong, right? We don't think home gaming consoles will take off. And that's true. At that time, they did not. But we know that turned out to be bad information. You can release a game with bugs, like if you're in a financial bind, push the game out, and then you can release a patch for the game, okay? But, you know, I like to get the bugs squashed. Haven't had an issue with that. And you can see we're gaining some points. We actually gained a level in gameplay, so now we're level 2. And we're going to release the game. And I'm going to put a pause there, so we'll put a cut in the video. Leave a like if you liked the video, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and we'll come back and see how our new game does in episode 2. See you guys next time. Bye now.